2020 mode is one of FNAF 4's hardest challenges, but what if I told you that you could beat it without even listening for breathing at the doors? That's what I'm going to do in today's video. I'm going to go over the strategy that I used to beat the night and why it works. This is by far the easiest way to beat 2020 mode, so you should be able to beat it using this strategy yourself. Let's get into it. I'm going to briefly go over the animatronic AI that is relevant to the night. If you want a more in-depth video about the AI and mechanics of the game, I'll leave a link to It's Taken's video on the game, which is where I got all of this information from. Bonnie and Chica have movement opportunities every 5 seconds. In 420 mode, they will move at every opportunity. However, they'll fail their movement opportunity if you are listening to their door. They start in the middle of the living room, where they then move to their side of the living room. From there, Bonnie can either move into the hall or back to the center of the living room, while Chica can either move into the hall or to the kitchen. From the kitchen, she'll then move back to the living room. You can flash them while they're in the far hall, which will cause them to return to the center of the living room. When they are in the far hall, they will move to the door at the next movement opportunity. If they are at your door and you close it, they will go away at the next 3-second interval. They can also move away from the door on their own, but only at 10-second intervals instead of 5-second ones. If they sit at the door for 12 seconds, they'll kill you the next time you look at the bed. Foxy also has movement opportunities every 5 seconds. He starts in the center of the living room and can move to either side. From there, he has a 90% chance to move to the opposite side of the living room and a 10% chance to move into the hall. He plays this sound effect when moving between sides. He makes this sound when moving into the left hall. He plays this sound when moving into the right hall. If he is in a hall and you go to the opposite door, he'll run into your closet. If you flash the hall he's in, he returns to the living room. When he enters your closet, he starts with 3 to 7 progress. This progress increases by 1 with every successful movement opportunity. Every second that you have his closet closed, his progress decreases by 1 every second. He'll kill you at 10 progress the next time you return to the center of the room. Freddy also has a progress counter. Every 4 seconds, he adds his AI level to his progress. The amount of Freddles on the bed correspond to the progress level. At 60 progress, he'll kill you the next time you shine the light on the bed. At 80 progress, he'll force kill you. Shining your light at the bed will decrease the progress every 50 milliseconds. Nightmare replaces all the other animatronics at 4 AM. He has a movement opportunity every 2 seconds. He can either move to the other side of the living room or into the hall. One in the hallway, he'll kill you after 8 seconds. If you close the door, he'll move away at the next 3-second interval. He also has a destination value that changes to a random number between 1 and 2 every second. These correspond to 2 laugh timers, which count up whenever the destination value is selected. When one of these 2 reaches 20 seconds, he'll laugh and teleport to either the bed or closet. He can only do 2 real laughs per night. He also has a 10% chance every 10 seconds to do a fake laugh. From the bed or closet, he'll kill you after 11 seconds. Now that I explained the characters, it's time to move on to the strategy. I got this strategy from Brayden. I'll have his guide linked in the description. This strategy does not involve listening for breathing or closing doors at all until 4 AM. It's actually super simple to pull this off as well. It's way easier than the normal method of beating 420 mode. This is the loop you'll be following until 4 AM. Flash the bed until the next 8 seconds on the stopwatch, then turn around, and at the next 10-second interval, go to the door and immediately flash it. Then, run back to the bed and repeat the process. You alternate between the 2 doors every time. It's important to note that you can never let Bonnie or Chica fail a movement opportunity, which means you cannot be at the door at any 0-second or 5-second interval. That's the process for the first 4 hours of the night. Bonnie and Chica are just not a threat during this night at all. Now, it's not quite that simple. Foxy is still a threat and the only thing you really have to worry about before 4 AM. Throughout the night, Foxy will move between the 2 sides of the living room and you need to keep track of where he is. Normally, you'll be alternating between the left and right doors. However, if Foxy is on the side opposite of the door you're about to go to, you need to listen to make sure he doesn't enter the opposite hall before moving to the door you're about to go to. Failing to do this will result in him entering the closet. If he does enter the opposite hall, go to that hall instead and then continue to alternate. You won't die if you have to go to the same hall 2 times in a row. It may take some time to learn the sound cues well enough to avoid making mistakes, but as soon as you get used to them, it becomes quite easy. If Foxy does enter the closet, this strategy will no longer work and you're going to have to go back to playing the game normally. If it's early enough in the night, it might be worth it to just reset. If it's 3 AM, you can just do the normal strategy for a while without any issues. If there is only 1 interval left before 4 AM, you can also just flash the bed and then wait at the closet with the door closed until it hits 4 AM. 4 AM is when the strategy stops working because Nightmare becomes active. Because Nightmare is likely to run back and forth for a while before entering a hall, you need to wait for about a second after he finishes running before going to the last door he ran to. Then immediately close the door without flashing your light until you hear him run to the other side. When he laughs, first determine whether or not it was a real laugh. If you hear footsteps immediately after a laugh, it was fake. If not, flash the light at the last door he ran to. If he is there, it was a fake laugh. If he isn't there, it's likely a real laugh. If it is a real laugh, check the bed first and then go to the closet and immediately shut the door until he runs. Keep in mind that he can only do 2 real laughs per night. And I'm gonna be honest, this part of the night is pretty RNG heavy. Don't be surprised if you get to 4 AM very consistently and then die over and over again to Nightmare. With that, here are some highlights from my attempts. So yeah, this is the whole night. We kind of just like, don't really have to think at all. We just do this. Oh, just kidding. I messed it up already. Huh? Okay. Dang. So Nightmare's kind of annoying. Oh, shoot. Dang. Alright, whatever. It's close enough to 4. That was a fake laugh. Nope. Oh. Dang, bro. 5 AM. What the heck was that? What? What was that? So that first one was a fake laugh. Then he did a real laugh. Then the real laugh caused him to move. But as the running was starting, he laughed immediately afterwards, cutting off the first laugh but making it sound like a fake laugh. So he did 2 real laughs within like 2 seconds, basically. Was what I'm guessing just happened. Yes! Let's go! I don't even know if that was a real or fake laugh, whatever. He didn't laugh a single time until it was too late, anyway. Alright, there we go. I'm done with this game. I don't really feel like doing the other things. That also took less than an hour. Now that you've seen the strategy in action, let's go over why the strategy works. It works for 2 reasons. 1, at 20 AI, Bonnie and Chica can never fail a movement opportunity without player intervention. And if they never fail a movement opportunity, they can never be at the door at a 10-second interval. Let's take a look at some movement patterns. Bonnie will move every 5 seconds. At 5 seconds, he moves from the center of the living room to the left living room. At 10 seconds, he moves to the far hall. At 15 seconds, he moves to the door. At 20 seconds, he moves away from the door since it's a 10-second interval. Even if he moves right back to the door at 25 seconds, he'll leave it again at 30. No combination of movements will allow him to be at the door after a 10-second interval as long as you don't cause him to fail a movement opportunity. We only check the doors after every 10-second interval for this reason. We show up after each 10-second and leave before every 5-second. Because of this, neither Bonnie nor Chica will ever fail a movement opportunity and will never be at the door when we shine our lights. The rest of the strategy is pretty straightforward. Now for the tier list placement. I'm going to put this in C tier, but below FNAF 3 Nightmare Aggressive only. It's still pretty RNG based when Nightmare shows up, but it's not as difficult as FNAF 3. I would put it in with FNAF 1 if FNAF 1 420 mode wasn't so free though. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I will have the full unedited completion linked in the description. If you like this video, please like and subscribe as it'll really help me out. Let me know what max modes you want to see me do next, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.